Good, right? Good point up here. No. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be in Hall County, be in Gainesville. Got a lot of great friends up here. I know Mr. Abbott Massey's in the room, and they don't come any better than Abbott. Certainly glad to see him and others. As was mentioned, I'm Brian Toller. I'm the fill-in. I'm the Mike Giles wannabe. Now I hear myself. And so I'm happy to be here and talk to you just a little bit about what we do at the Georgia Agribusiness Council, but more importantly, what the Agribusiness Council has the opportunity to do for the state of Georgia. Because our farmers and our business industry is doing it every day. And I love sharing this message. For those that, so we talked about watches and heart rates, for those that are all into the Twitter and the Facebook, if you like to get involved in that stuff, we're a part of that too. But most importantly is it's often overlooked that agribusiness is our state's largest industry. We've got a lot of great industries in the state. The diversity of our state is incredible. But they don't come any bigger than agriculture, and I just want to hit that real quick with you. But we're in Gainesville, and there's not very many times you get to, we don't have Babe Ruth here, but you come to Gainesville, and it's really the only town where you threaten to arrest Colonel Sanders. I think that's pretty cool. If you eat chicken with a fork in Gainesville, Abbott, help me with this, that's right. Then you run the risk. You're violating the law. And also in the upper right-hand corner of that photograph happens to be Abbott Massey just a few years ago, I think. Abbott, is that right? It's fairly recent, but not quite so much. But these guys, this really is what the poultry industry is about in Georgia. Great leadership, and that would be Mike and the Yellow Tide, and of course Abbott at his side, and they are a great team, and I'm proud to call them friends. And Georgia's very lucky to have them here working on behalf of our industry. Let's talk about our industry. This is our team. We're located up in Commerce, just in Jackson County, and there's just 5 of us. We have a very diverse membership, but we have a very small staff. But we're located right in downtown Commerce, and they're up there working diligently today while I'm here helping do this, helping to grow and sustain membership. Now, when you're a part of a Chamber of Commerce, as Georgia Agribusiness Council basically is, we're run by members. We're not a government entity. We rely on that support every year. Ask for that investment in us so we can go do our job. And we're very grateful that we've seen tremendous growth, especially the last several years. So an economic snapshot of what Georgia's ag economy looks like. And this is important because we talk about jobs. And we've been talking about the challenges with our financial institutions. Those are very important to agribusiness as well. Rural hospitals, tremendously important to serve those rural communities. It's really about how do we service those people to have those jobs and drive those local communities. And so we are the leader in that. $72.5 billion in economic impact. That's statewide. That's taking everything from the farm level and then changing that into a product that ends up in your home or in your business. And so we are by far the state's largest industry. Poultry and egg is without question the biggest part of that. And I want you to focus on this number. We're talking about a $72 billion industry, and 25 of it is poultry. If you don't remember anything else about the importance of the agribusiness economy in the state, focus on what the poultry industry alone means. Because as was commented, Mike Giles is not here today because he's focused on avian influenza. You want to have an economic disaster for the state of Georgia? Avian influenza will do it. You talk about finances, the bankers will be crippled, as will many communities, and I'm going to show you, especially those right here in this area of the state. And then Hall County, most importantly, Hall County, $5 billion economic activity just from the ag sector. So in Hall County, by the way, is the largest county has the largest economic impact of any of our 159 counties. So if we look at agriculture as a whole, I just want you to focus really there's a lot of colors, but if you'll just look at the red, and I don't know why they picked red. Red's good. Red's good because that's what we're talking about, high farm gate value. But if you look up and around where we are right now, you can see where agriculture is a huge economic sector. You get some scattered around South Georgia. We've got poultry in South Georgia too. We also have a lot of vegetables, some other row crops down there. So, but most important is the red and the blue gives you an idea of how important agriculture is all over the state. In over 2/3 of our counties, agriculture is either the number 1 or the number 2 economic driver in each of those counties. So you just have to have an idea of how all that's spread. A couple more quick looks. We mentioned poultry and egg. Of course, you guessed it, right here where we're standing today is a critical area for poultry and egg. One more quick snapshot. We take a great conversation on the diversity of Georgia agriculture because we do have so much diversity. And so we get asked these questions a lot. And really the one that we put this chart up there and it's the concept of blueberries, really. I mean, peaches, right? And well, maybe not so much. We love our peaches. It's the quality over quantity is where we are now with peaches. But we are great. We're thankful to be the peach state. But it's our blueberries that we're number 1. Now, these are in order of our ranking of the state across the nation. So we don't have more blueberries than broilers, don't get me wrong, that's alphabetical. But our blueberries, our broilers, our peanuts, and our pecans, and one that doesn't show up on this ranking really is pine trees, because we have a tremendous economic impact on our forest industry. But just to give you an idea of the diversity that's there, that's just the top 3, y'all. We could have kept going, but that's just the top 3. Just want to give you an idea to see some of that diversity that we're so proud to have in our state. So from the Georgia Agribusiness Council, as a Chamber of Commerce, just like most chambers of commerce, you're going to have components where you're trying to build the industry. You're trying to build economic activity. And of course we do that. Most of what we do, and this is the kind of term I can't use in front of my mother. She gets highly upset when I tell people this, but I'm going to tell y'all because you're a good business community and I'm a lobbyist. My mother says, please don't tell people you're a lobbyist. I'm so disappointed when you use that word. But I am a lobbyist. Abbott's a lobbyist too. I outed you, Abbott. But I'm proud to lobby on behalf of this great industry. And our whole role is to help build what we have in the state. And so here's a couple of examples of that. Now we talk about how do we compete? How does Georgia agriculture compete with our neighboring states? Well, the biggest one is a benefit that we saw from our General Assembly has provided us just a few years ago. And it is sales tax exemption on inputs for farm products, as well as for processing. Those poultry processors that we have in Hall County, as well as others across the state, cotton gins and others, don't pay sales tax on the energy that they use because they're trying to compete. We want those businesses here, we want those jobs here. Same thing for farmers. Inputs, you don't have to pay sales tax on them. That is a big advantage for us. Research and extension, y'all, this is huge. Especially if you're looking right here in Hall County where we have the Georgia Poultry Lab. That after years, I believe it's on Abbott Massey Way. Those that haven't been on, I haven't seen that road sign yet. I got to get my picture made with that. But what a tremendous advantage that gives us in the poultry industry as the state's economic driver of what poultry means to us, and to have that facility here. And then the other picture on the left, that is a new turf grass facility that they're building down in Griffin. Turf grass. What's the big deal about that? Huge industry for us. Matter of fact, the grass on your lawn, as well as the grass in Sanford Stadium, which I think is pretty important as a Bulldog, is all grass that was created, it was bred here in our state. So we need to keep those types of economic activity drivers going. So that's just 2 great investments that have been made for research, and of course our extension agents are fabulous. We talk about battles. When we're looking at the pluses and the minuses of every industry, the battles that we have, I want to hit 3 of them real quick. And one of them, really for us, especially in the media right now, is people don't understand where their food comes from. I get that. But now we want to argue about it. It's like you don't know enough to even have an argument. The challenge that we have in labeling stuff, whether it's GMO or whether you think it has hormones or antibiotics, or if it's local grown or is it organic, look, one question. Is it safe and is it sustainable? These components all provide for safe and sustainability. And that's what we should be focused on. But the consumer battles on these issues right here is tremendous, and it's not going to go away. Labor. This is not a new problem. But in a growing economy, it's starting to rear its head already. We had crops in South Georgia this spring and summer that went without being harvested because we could not get the workforce. It's not a new battle, it's a constant battle. We have a lot of solutions that people have thrown out there. Federal guest worker programs. The federal government has provided a program, and it's, guess what, unworkable. Drug use. Usually 70% of the people that apply for jobs can't pass a drug test. And you want to talk about legalizing marijuana? Work ethic. Have y'all worked with millennials lately? Well, do I not have an app on my watch that'll do that? What do you mean? And then just the whole concept of broader immigration reform. And last but not least, golly Moses, water. It is such an economic driver for us. It is such a polarizing issue for us. But there's no more important issue for how do we plan for the future than how do we plan for water. And I will say Georgia has done a fabulous job of planning. And unfortunately, Florida sat there and let us do it. So that battle is being waged right now, but we cannot continue to have the battle with water and also plan for the economic growth that we've already seen happen in Georgia. And where's it going to go from here? This is going to be a huge limiting factor for us. With federal judges involved, it's about economic livelihood. It's not just about growing crops, y'all. It's also about what we enjoy doing in recreation. It's what you enjoy having in your home garden or on your home lawn. The horticulture industry, the turf grass industry, they also rely on availability of water. And then, it all comes down to just quality of life. Since there's a lot of realtors here, I want to show you a sign that I found a few years ago in Douglas County. We talk about, encroachment, and so I love this sign. I need to go see if it's still there. But, when you build a neighborhood adjacent to a working farm, then yeah, there's going to be issues related to sights and sounds and smells. And I'm proud of every one of those. Because if it weren't for those, then we wouldn't have the Georgia Agribusiness Council. We've got a great future ahead of us. We've got a lot of great crops that we produce in our state and a lot of great jobs that we provide. And I'm happy to share this message about a growing, thriving industry for the state of Georgia, not just now, but also in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I think we're all glad to have food on our table, so close to home. Next speaker is Eugene James, Regional Director of Metro State.